they're all getting cut. I would never ever do it like this. I would get chopped. Okay, welcome back guys. Today we are talking about UX portfolios, which we have not talked about in a little bit. And it's really top of mind for me because I'm in the process of redoing my entire portfolio. If I had to start my UX portfolio over today, this is what I would take out. This is what I would include. Some passion projects. We're going to get into all of it. I have not touched my portfolio in about 3.5 years, which is crazy and so bad. Do not be like me. So I have a lot of changes to make. It's kind of excruciating doing a portfolio, and I've started and stopped it, and I've started and stopped it, and I'm finally at a point where I'm like, foot on the gas. You are finishing this by the end of this week, and I'm pretty close. I'm like 75% there. I have one more case study to really flesh out, and then I just have to like go over edits and reviews and stuff. I'm gonna pull up, I'll have a screen recording of my portfolio, and I've shown this portfolio before, and honestly, you guys, it's one of my best performing videos because, you know, she did me well, this portfolio. It was useful. It got me the job. Like, it was my first go at UX design, but now I'm looking at it and let's talk. Honestly, cleaning out your portfolio is probably just as important as what you're adding into it. First built mine, I literally added everything. Every UX thing I had ever done, which was not that much, went in there. And I get it, when you're starting out, it feels like you need to prove all the work that you've done, but looking back, just some of these projects don't hold up for me. So this is my UX folio. I don't have this portfolio live anymore, so my subscription has ended, but I can still kind of see the projects that I did. I'm just gonna click around as I go. God, looking at this, I'm like, wow. It's a good thing because I have obviously grown from all of this. I would never do any of this now. Like, it just screamed junior designer, which is what I was. I think my first off where you kind of pretty much get to come up with whatever you wanted. And all these projects came from boot camp. I just think it was a little bit too step by step. Like it looks like I was just following the process, which I was, but it doesn't feel it's not very telling in who I am as a designer, other than like I can follow the steps and the prompts. Like also, why are these images so small? Like nobody can read that. Same with this. This user flow is not bad. Designs, low fidelity sketches. This stuff is like not that helpful. These like low fidelity. Style guide is a little bit helpful, but I'd call it something different. Let me stop right there because this is just a perfect example. Technically, it showed some process, but it wasn't really grounded in a user problem. And I remember this first project, I just kind of came up with it myself. And I think maybe that's why it wasn't as strong. I wasn't really solving a user need. I definitely wasn't solving a business need. So that would get chopped. Honestly, looking at all of my projects, they're all getting cut. It's getting cut. The reason that I'm cutting them all is because they don't really reflect how I work today. Because all of this is like make-believe and solo work, and that I made every decision, and that's just not the reality of any type of job. You know, I wanted to show how I collaborate, how I problem solve under like specific constraints. You know, I want to show my next steps that are realistic. I want to show how I'm monitoring things like metrics and stuff. So that's why I feel like all of it is a chop, guys. I was looking at one of these caught my eye. Okay, I found what I meant. Okay, so do you see this screen here, this like sign up screen? I would never ever do it like this. The fact that the label is inside, no, UX no, because if you start typing it, you'll forget what it is. And it's probably fine for first name, last name, email, password, but it's just not good practice. You want the label on the outside. So just little things like that I have learned along the way. You should probably like double type in your password, maybe an icon is better than show, like little things like that where I had learned. And that there's no point in just going back and updating this. You just gotta scrap it. And that's exactly what I will be doing. So, Stephanie, then what are you adding into your portfolio? great question. In no particular order, I am adding a freelance project, one that I did, whether it's for kind of your traditional 9-to-5, or if you're also open to like freelance work, contract work. I think that's also important to know, to show in your portfolio that shows you can work directly with the client, manage your own deadlines, manage feedback, be a little bit scrappy and like quick when it comes to designs. Even if it's small, like helping a local business redesign their booking flow. Another thing that I'm adding that I think is really important is a project that shows business or some kind of growth impact. Like, did more conversions go up? Did users complete the task? Did our support calls go down? These are the kinds of things where I want to have a measurable outcome based on the work that I did. You know, these ones are kind of harder to come by if you don't have specific experience working for a company or really anything where you've seen your work get completed. But in that scenario, I would still include, like for you guys, if you don't have any of these metrics, you can include what you're anticipating, kind of your benchmarks for knowing that your design was successful. Even if this doesn't go anywhere, if this design doesn't see real life, if it were to see real life, this is how I'd know we did the right thing. Like I said, conversions are going up, our NPS score went up by whatever number of points. Like, these are the kinds of things that show that you're thinking in that business growth mindset. Also include anything, and I don't think this will be a problem for most people, is a project that is mobile only, mobile first, whichever. Because mobile design is not just desktop on a smaller screen, it comes with its own set of challenges and opportunities as well. Whether you're designing in iOS or Android, each of them have their own navigation pattern, components, behaviors, screen space limitations. You have smaller real estate to work with. It really challenges you to focus on what's really important. So that's why I think mobile is important, and it just adds a little bit of variety to your portfolio. And I also do think there is space for passion projects as well. I have seen in other people's portfolios where maybe it's not listed under their like UX work, but it's also under like other interests or side projects or down the rabbit hole, like whatever else interests you as a designer. And it could still be UX related, but I wouldn't put it next to like my UX project work, that things I've worked on at my past jobs, freelance projects. So anything like passion related, like, I don't know, I'm a Bravo super fan and I'd love to create a second screen app where you can track all your Bravo shows and keep up with the latest scandals and, you know, that kind of thing. Passion project. Like, that's not necessarily going to help me get a job unless NBC Universal wants to hire me, but I think there's still room for that. And even if it's not UX, it could be graphic design, it could be art, it could be really anything that still shows your personality. I just wouldn't necessarily group it under like project specific work, if that makes sense. That's where my head is at. I think your portfolio needs to evolve as you evolve. That portfolio that is getting the chop was great. It got me to where I'm at. Like, it got me into the door. It was all my bootcamp projects. Springboard was a bootcamp that I did. And right now I'm also thinking less about perfection, because I spent a lot of time perfecting the look of things in that portfolio, versus now I'm more about proving how I think and how I solve problems. Let me know any portfolio related questions you might have. If you're rethinking your portfolio, I'd love to know what you're adding, what you're cutting, what site you're using. Once it's ready to go, I will share a little bit of the portfolio with you guys. Let me know down below if you have any questions. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share if you think it's worth sharing, and I'll see you guys in the next one.